Business Now, Stephen's on set. We're going to go back to the US. Donald Trump has been making other waves with his tweets. This time it's in the car industry, isn't it?
The US president-elect has claimed credit for Ford's decision to scrap a planned $1.6 billion plant in Mexico and invest in its US operations instead. The carmaker says it made the call based on tax and regulatory reforms proposed by Donald Trump. It'll now invest $700 million in its Michigan plant, creating 700 jobs. Mexico's economy ministry says it regrets Ford's decision. The carmaker will now have to pay back any funding it received from the local government.
Without a doubt, we would have loved the investment to have come to fruition. We understand that the market and the business plans of companies vary according to the different circumstances.
Another US story, the Consumer Electronics Show is beginning in Las Vegas.
It's one of the world's biggest technology showcases. CES is a chance for many companies to unveil their latest innovations, with artificial intelligence and voice control expected to feature prominently this year. Some 275 French firms are among those attending, and it's a big chance for them to attract investment. Diptyque Laurent reports.
It's the holy grail of tech showcases. The Las Vegas Consumer and Electronics Show kicks off the new year in technology. It's also a chance to show off French innovation. 275 French companies will travel to the US in the hopes of piquing the interest and deep pockets of American investors.
For us, Las Vegas is one of the most important shows of the year. It's a chance to present our products, meet our clients, and to get an idea of how the market is progressing.
AWOX specializes in digital light bulbs. The user can control the luminosity from a tablet or smartphone and pick among 16 million colors to set the mood. The French government has invested heavily in its startups, providing tax breaks, help with loans and subsidies. In 2016, a total of 1.4 billion euros was invested in startups in France. There were 368 fundraising rounds in just the third quarter alone, compared to 215 for the entire year of 2015. This company in Normandy has created real-time augmented reality in which objects interact with the user's environment, technology that they're hoping could be used by architects, for instance. These young entrepreneurs are also hoping to woo the 200,000 people expected at CES with their concept, a digital travel journal complete with tips and advice that can be sold to other users.
Geek?
Yeah, what's a geek?
But first, they might need to brush up on their English.
Let's check in on what's happening on the markets for you next. European shares starting the day in positive territory, but interesting, tech shares are actually down slightly in Europe as CES gets underway in Las Vegas. Ryanair's shares, though, are up around 1%. That's after its latest passenger figures showed a 20% jump in December. Over in Asia, it was the first trading day of the new year in Japan. The Nikkei in Tokyo finishing up 2.5% at the end of the day. Smaller gains in Shanghai and in Seoul, but the Hang Seng in Hong Kong down by around 0.1%. A look at some more of today's business headlines for you next. Randy Tillerson is to receive a retirement package worth $180 million from the oil company ExxonMobil as he prepares to become Secretary of State. Tillerson stepped down as CEO of Exxon on January 1st. The deal agreed with the company, if he's confirmed in office, will be worth around $7 million less than Tillerson would have otherwise received. Cabin crew at British Airways have announced a 48-hour strike next week. The walkout by around 15% of cabin crew will take place on January 10th and 11th in an ongoing dispute over pay. BA says it hopes to operate all flights but will publish contingency plans on Friday. And Tesla Motors missed its target for deliveries last year as production problems continue to plague the electric car maker. It delivered just over 76,000 cars in 2016, around 3,000 short of its target. Tesla blaming the delay on the introduction of new hardware for its self-driving technology.
Now, this next story sounded like a bit of a dream when it was announced. A 6-hour working day, and the trial in Sweden now running into difficulty.
It was one of the big social innovations we've had of the past year or so. There are a number of companies and organisations in Sweden trying out shorter working hours. The preliminary results from the trial of a 6-hour day in a state-owned retirement home in Gothenburg, though, finding that employees had felt healthier, had fewer sick days, and patient care had improved as well. But the 68-nurse facility had to hire an extra 17 staff to cope with reduced working hours at a cost of more than 1.2 million euros. Local officials concluding that it's simply too expensive to have a 6-hour day in the immediate future.
A big but.
A big but.
A big but. Thank you, Stephen. Stephen with Business on France 24. We're going to have a look